right, welcome to another edition of Pep Talk with Pepper Johnson. He's got 5 Super Bowl rings, 2 as a player, 3 as a coach. He's here to tell you how it is, how it was, and how it should be, and why. We are joined, as always, by the man who makes it all happen, Mr. Ken Carson. We also have got the crispiest of Mr. Bacons down there, Crispy Bacon.
It's Chisty bacon. Chisty bacon.
Chisty Bacon. And then that gentleman chiming in is always chiming in. That is Mr. Anthony the Greek Jr. Snyder. And tonight we have a very special guest. We've got a member of the Blue Wrecking Crew, Mr. Deuce 5 himself, Mark Collins. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And listen, we've been waiting to come on, guys, because we've got a play that Mark wants to talk about. We are just going to dig right into this play. And Ken, you got the play to show us? We'd love to see it.
So the week before, I forget who we played. So we have a Monday and Tuesday off. But this particular week, we're playing the Raiders, right? And Bo Jackson's in town. So Belichick brings us in Monday, which is really, just our off day, our workout day. So we came in a little bit and we started watching Raider film. So he already teeing us up. Oh, this is Bo Jackson. Some of the guys getting pissed. I know I was a little hot. I know Pep and Lawrence, those guys were. And this is, after a Sunday win, and we had an all night, drinking thing at the club. So we come in, and we think we should have been there on Monday. So we started watching the Raider game. Then we're off on Tuesday, and then we start putting the game plan in on Wednesday. So it's all about Bo Jackson, We started putting in our plays and stuff. And there's one particular play, when you see it, I'm going to call it a bastard play. And I'll tell you why I'll call it that. It was the running backs will switch and all this other stuff. So if you watch Bo play football, Bo Jackson is an extremely gifted athlete and a hell of a runner. He runs better. I don't know if you know this. He runs better to the offense's left than he does to the right. Think about that. So Bo Jackson, you look at that long run against Seattle and whoever, he runs hard. He runs better going to the left side of the offensive line. So we're watching film, and this particular play comes up against somebody else. So Pep was in his linebacker sitting to the side. So we break the meeting. We don't watch the film. It's on Wednesday. So Pep comes locker, MC. You gotta remind LT on this play, kick it. All right, cool. That was it. That was it from Wednesday, and we practiced Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then game on Sunday, right? And during that whole week of practice, that play didn't look like the play it's not supposed to look like it's supposed to look like, because Lawrence kept going upfield. So as you run this play, watch Pepper at the bottom. He'll do a hand signal over to, I guess, Lawrence, and Lawrence saw it. And watch me walk up and remind Lawrence to get inside to kick it. Then I back up to linebacker position, because that's what I am at nickelback. I'm a linebacker. And watch what happens when I reminded Lawrence. Watch Pep right here, at the bottom of the screen. Right, he's pointing. That's me. Okay, he just pointed them out. Okay, good. I just walked up and reminded Lawrence what to do. And I came up, I shot it. Okay.
Nice.
Here comes again. I line up. I back up to linebacker because I'm a linebacker, basically. And if Lawrence doesn't go underneath, I'm getting hit by that tackle, and Bo's going to the house. So let the play run.
Nice.
So let it go. Watch Pepper. Pepper and I'll never forget this. Pepper going, you knew it, you bad motherfucker, you knew it. And then it's some cool shit. It's cool. It's cool.
2-5-5-2.
Because Pep knew that whole week, that play did not look like that was all messed up.
Exactly.
So Pep called it out. The bastard formation was the fullback was in front of Bo Jackson, which it was a switch formation. No one does that. Everybody knows where the ball's going. And they found the small guy, me, and going to run at me. So it was imperative when he told me, hey, and Wednesday practice, you got to remind T the kicker because sometimes he gonna get upfield.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just funny.
Be running all the way upfield.
The communication in football that we had was outstanding. It was outstanding. Anyway, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Here's my beer.
and you know what, Mark? I'm glad you made that point because our first 2 weeks, that's all I've been talking about is when we were talking about the Giants and the offensive linemen not communicating and a guy blew a blocking assignment and stuff like that. And you're not getting enough communication. And where we had information like that, we shared it. And when that person makes a play, oh my goodness.
Oh, dude. You a geek.
I came from the other side.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know. Let me
go. And LT supposedly that week remember he was on a bad hip, bad leg, or something like that.
He had a broken foot. He had a broken bone in his foot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was something. I was like, and another play was the one-man reverse. Now, I have to admit, Bo Jackson, I still haven't seen anybody run that freaking one-man reverse like Bo Jackson. You get that toss going one way, and he sticks his foot in the ground, and bam, he goes back the other way. And like Mark said, he comes to the defensive right, to his left. He runs a lot better going that way. Man, when I saw it, I bit on the toss because it's so inviting because he takes off when he gets the toss. But when he stuck his foot in the ground, he went back the other way. It ended up being the longest run that he had in that game, 7 yards. And T caught him by his collar. I had a pursuit angle. I was going way downfield because I felt like I just blew it, and I didn't call it out like that play. But man, we had something for him. He didn't know. He was
Pep, cause leading up to the game, tell me what Belichick was doing though.
Okay, yes, I am so sorry that I was going to get ready to blow this opportunity. The night before, so like Mark was saying, leading up to the game, he brought us in extra early and all this stuff like that, and all this deep Bo Jackson stuff, right? So Saturday night, I don't know if he did this on purpose or not. If he did it on purpose, hats off to Coach Belichick. But if he didn't, he made this freaking half an hour highlight film of Bo Jackson running against all these AFC teams. But he already played against Philadelphia. He played against Washington. And I want to say that he even played against the Bears. I don't hold me to that one. But I want to say he played against those guys too. But one clip against Washington was on the highlight tape. It was that Seattle Monday night game. He had a bunch of clips of that, bunch of clips of all these AFC teams that we didn't respect. So we sitting up there watching the freaking, watching this highlight tape, and I know I'm antsy. I'm like, I can't believe this dude. Why is he showing this? And I guess what I was feeling, Mark did. While we just running the tape, and it's all quiet because everybody is feeling the same. No one wants to say anything on Belichick. Let him just get his jollies. We're going to play tomorrow. Mark just, those little, the school where you got the desk made to the freaking chair. Mark got up and tipped it over. I can't believe this effing shit. And he leaves out. Banks tips over his chair. And then it just became a freaking cycle. Every guy was just getting up and making a lot of noise, pushing tables and all kinds of stuff. T got up off the floor. He don't know what was going on, but he just got up off the floor and he walked out too. And I sat up there and I was still looking at him. I was rocking back and forth like this. And I probably was, closer to the end. It was like about 3 or 4 other dudes was up in there. I was like, everybody is leaving on Belichick and just getting up out of here. And I wanted to see some expression on his face to see if he did it on purpose or not. But I don't know what he did, but he had us so jacked for that freaking game right there, man. 27 yards.
I just had enough. I just had a flipping enough. I was like, you know what? I was basically saying we're pretty damn good. So why you pumping these guys up?
Yeah,
but that's Belichick. But I had enough.
Yeah, he again. And Mark, I've asked him twice. I asked him twice when I was coaching with him, and I don't know. One time it seemed like he really didn't do it on purpose. he had this freaking tape that he wanted to show us the whole damn tape, and no. And this was back in the day when the coaches actually cut and splice. It was the reel-to-reels. So. Yeah, he actually sat up there and did that mess. I can't believe him.
That's funny. Anyway.
Don't you think Coach just had the respect for what a monster Bo was?
A monster?
Yeah.
Man, we didn't believe in no monsters sleeping up under the bed. We were the monsters.
Well, how physical did you have to be to hold him to like under 50 yards and his biggest run 7 yards? I mean, that's amazing. How physical do you have?
We were doing that to everybody, though. We didn't care. We didn't. If you think that was bad, talk to Herschel. Talk to George Rogers.
Yeah.
The only running tandem I would give credit to because of how they ran was Mack, Biner, and Manoah. Those 3 dudes that was in Cleveland. They ran literally. It wasn't a hole. You know how everybody's doing this short yardage push right now, the tush push, whatever they want to call it. That's what they was doing with Kevin Mack in the backfield. That was he would run. Biner was smaller than Mack, and he was the fullback. He was 220, 225.
And they had big pads too, boy. Big old man.
Yeah, Mack was about 235. And then Manoah, they'll bring him in to sub Mack, and he'll come in the game. He about 245, 250. And they would run into the back of the office, and we're in a 3-4, so that guard gets a 3 or 4 yard running start on me. They didn't care about a hole. He'll just run into the back of the guy. And you're trying to hold the lineman up. You can't toss them one way or another because they're not trying to find a hole. You'll just run into the back of them. Fall forward for 4 yards. You do that again for 4 more yards. 3rd down, guess what they doing? Running the same
thing. Yep.
Then fall forward. 1st down, man. Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry. That was a freaking problem. Not Bo Jackson trying to run around the damn outside talking about some freaking beast. No.
You guys came in together the same year, right? 86, right? You came in together.
Yeah, we came in. We had 4.
Oh yeah. We all came out together. Yeah, he was our first pick.
Yeah.
We had 4 second-round picks. Dorsey was first, number 1, and there was me. It was Eric Howard,
and me.
And then 4 second-rounders.
And then Greg Lasker.
Oh.
And then John Washington was in the 3rd.
Yeah, J Dope.
Who was the 3rd?
John Washington. We picked 5 defensive players first before we even thought about an offensive guy. And then the offensive guy they picked was like a defensive guy. Solomon?
Solly?
Yeah. What Solomon next? Or
Solomon Miller.
Yeah, shoot, he run down and he tear a whole wall up by himself.
Who was the first one to actually start?
Excuse me?
Who started first?
I was the first one to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark was the first one to break the starting lineup.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I came in talking. I didn't talk too much shit. I was very headstrong, put it that way. And I respect all the guys I play ball with. I mean, they know that. But I came in and I told some of the guys who were defensive back. It was Ted Watts, Tyrone Davis, Elvis Patterson, Perry Williams, and a couple of the guys. We have like 13 corners. And I came in, I'm 20, just turned 22 years old, I think, 21, 22. I said, hey, I'm taking somebody's job. Y'all discuss amongst yourselves. But
yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay, all right. I was a little nervous, but hey, sure enough.
That arrow got real hot when they started pointing over there to Elvis.
Yep. Then all of a sudden, okay, all right, see you later. But no, the competition was great. But and Pep, I mean, I can't speak for Pep, but for me, I mean, just being on the team, making the team, and yeah, if I say the second round, you're going to make the team, but the competition was stiff. I mean, this team from '85 to '86, they were loaded. They just lost to Chicago, the eventual Super Bowl champion, but they were good. And to come in and just to make the team and contribute on special teams, and then become a starter for 10 games of that season and play in every game except one, that was huge. And then that was just awesome.
Tell them what Parcells. You remember what Parcells told us in that first meeting, right after training camp, after all the butt kicking and all that stuff. Then he brought us up in without the veterans, and then told us he don't need any of us. You better find it's a train running, and you better find your way to jump on because we're going, we're moving.
Now, I tell you, talking like that. I said, ain't that a bitch? Man, listen. I'm gonna give him my second beer in a little while. Man, look, he started talking like that. I said, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But I'm already headstrong already, so
yeah,
it didn't affect me. Like, oh man, I'm gonna show it. No, okay, cool. You do you. I'm gonna do me. That was it. And my competition ain't with my deal ain't with the coach. I got to try to win over some of these older guys and get their respect by special teams. You know how special teams
exactly
do anything possible to get on the field. That's what I got to do. And with that, me being braggadocious to the point, going, hey, I'm gonna take somebody's job. It may be a gunner on a punt team.
Yeah,
it may be the hold up guy, and it may be a starting corner. I don't know, but it's a numbers game.
Somebody got to move to
exactly
behind me,
and that was my mindset. Sure enough, and then so let's fast forward. And I come back to the comment you made about Parcells. So I'm a corner, and I just started returning punts in college my senior year, and I'm catching punts and doing my shit. I'm doing stuff. They cut Phil McConkey.
Exactly.
They cut him that year?
Yeah, you remember? We cut Phil and then brought him back
after I got concussed. Against New Orleans.
Yeah.
So that was my mindset. My mindset. Not what Parcells was saying. I'm trying to make this team by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So.
Yeah, that was all of it. You know what? I would like to say me, you, and Eric Howard, and maybe J Dub.
We weren't taking no shit.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
exactly.
No,
we came up in there. I was like that. Hey, I don't know because people they try to tell me later, like what Mark was saying. You're a second round draft pick. They wasn't getting ready to cut you. I don't care. I wouldn't believe in any of that mess. I'm kicking in the door, and I want somebody's job. I wanted, that's how this thing is going to end. Now, Belichick told me, hey, you continue to. This was like maybe week 3 or 4 or something like that. This was before I cursed at Parcells. We don't want to say that one.
Oh, I want to hear that story.
Matter of fact, this was after I cursed that person, Parcell. I cursed him out. Might as well just tell that story right quick. Cursed that Parcells because we walking off the field. We on kick return, and kick return didn't work out well. So you walking off the field. Parcells had this way of getting in your way when you walking off the field. He'd stand in your way. I said, okay. He was like, get your fucking block. And I kept walking. I took about 2 steps. I turned around. I said, excuse me? He said, get your fucking block next time. Next time, get your fucking block like that. I was like, I got my fucking block. And then I turned around, and the first person I saw was Carl Banks. I was like, Banks, what the hell did I just do, man? I'm head coach. I didn't lost my mind. Oh, Banks is like, he'll be all right, man. Don't worry about that. Just go to. I'm like, dude, I'm going crazy right now, right? Blah 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 blah. Fast forward, we won that ball game, right? This is when we started up on our little streak. Okay. Every time when you come in the locker room, every morning we have practice. Parcells always sat in my stool right next to Maurice Carthon because my chair was on the corner right into down the hall where you go into the meeting rooms, right? I come in the door, bam, there he go again. Oh my goodness. And he gave me one of them numbers. I come in, man, I'm like, they getting ready to cut me. How am I getting ready to explain this? I'm cursed at the freaking head coach. We go back in the back, and the team meeting room was on the right of the hall. The defensive back room was on the left. He takes me in the defensive back, shut the door. Tell me shut the door. First off, don't you ever say fuck. No, he goes off into me, right? I got my head down like this, yes sir, like this. Oh, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm mad that I got to take it. I don't know why I blew up, but I blew up. Sorry, right? Then he goes and he apologizes. I did get my block, and it was a good block, and this, that, and other. But still, don't you ever curse at me. That's how you let off like that again. Let me out the room. And now it's time for everybody to walk in. So when everybody started walking in, I'm like, wait a minute. This motherfucker cursing. He gonna curse me out in front of every damn body. Why won't he just apologize to me in front of everybody?
You know it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. Oh, I don't know why I was chasing ghosts.
But I remember hearing a story back in the day. Something I don't know what the preamble was, but something happened with Lawrence Taylor, and you guys were going down to New Orleans to play New Orleans. And Parcells said to Lawrence, "Hey, when we get down there, just switch jerseys with Pat Swilling. I'll bring him back to New Orleans. I'll bring him back to New York. You can stay in New Orleans." And apparently, LT went nuts in that game. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mark?
Yeah, I heard the story before because like Lawrence went through a couple of games without no tackles or some shit like that, and Parcells wanted to switch into with Pat Swilling because they had 56.
and Lawrence had like 7 sacks in the next game or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, but it still wasn't. I mean, that's a good one. That's a.
But that wasn't a great one.
That wasn't a great one. That wasn't. Yeah, he's the best LT Parcells story I got is very short. It's kind of brief. We're in training camp. Mark, where we started off, at Pace. We come. You literally had to walk through the woods at Pace to get to the freaking practice field, right? And we practiced on goose shit, right? All right. So yes, we practice on goose shit. We're in the pros. This is the NFL, and you practice. You got to find a spot. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun just coming out. And it's hot. You got to find a spot. We can't line up in a line. I can't line up. I can't sit down next to Mark and stretch. because it might be some goose shit sitting over there. So you got to spread out, right? This is the pros. And so after practice, Parcells is walking back through the freaking woods with us, and he's getting on LT, he's talking shit to LT, and then this, that, and other. And he actually thought, got so geeked at himself that LT was taking his verbal abuse that he could do something. And he started nudging him and laughing with him and da 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 da. And then LT just said, I'm tired of this shit. He grabbed him and he just lifted him. This is the big Parcells. Remember, Parcells been going to this weight shit until afterwards. LT grabbed him and just lifted him up over his head like this, and there was a car, and he put him on the top of the damn car and just say, you just stay up there, don't let me see you again, blah, 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 some mess like that, until I want to see you again, or some shit like that, he said. And then we just kept on walking. I'm laughing. Mark, it's a short part 2 of this damn story, right? Because I know you remember that. We get to the Jets, and for some reason, Parcells bring up the damn story again, like he did something, and he's the co-side. And he's like, yeah, you remember that? I didn't back down from him, did I? I said, no, you didn't back down because you was up on top of the fucking car. They put you up on top of the car, man. What are you talking about? And he didn't expect for me to give that answer. You should see I read it. How bad he looked afterwards. I was like, why are you telling that story? Because I didn't get what he wanted me to just say yeah and stop it. But the best part about that is T picking him up. And he just did it with ease. Like he was a freaking, like his son or something. Little TJ, he picked him up and just bam, and put him up on top of the car and told him to stay there.
That's some good shit. So we win the Super Bowl our first year, which Pepper would probably concur was probably the best feeling that I know. I never won a national championship, but winning that Super Bowl in the first year was awesome. I mean, your first year we compete. So you see how the ring ceremonies they have. They get their rings. Man, so we come to mini camp. We 87. We got in our sweats. Go out there those 2 or 3 days. Remember that?
Yeah.
We come in to the meeting room. So we're in the meeting room. They have the boxes, our rings in boxes, right? All lined up. So Parcells, and he had the rookie. He said the same stuff to the rookies as he said to us.
Yeah.
So he made the rookies sitting there in the meeting room while we get our rings. Now we had our sweats, all stinky and shit. And he calls you in, you get your ring, you celebrate. So we get our rings, and he's up there. Lawrence on the right side of him, and Phil Simms on the left. Lawrence is sitting down. Phil's standing up looking at his ring like this. So Bill's talking, hey, guys, congratulations. We had a great season. Blah, 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 blah. And for all you rookies, I'm going to tell you something. I got a good team here. I don't need none of you sons of bitches. And then he said, do it, Phil. And Phil Simms went, nope. And I'm sitting there in the firm, I'm going, I know I heard that speech before. We don't need some of these son of bitches.
Yeah,
but sure
exactly.
enough, we did because we wanted to get a 90. Here's another quick story. I don't know if we'll get on something else.
Yeah.
So we win the Super Bowl. We go back in 87. And so we're in the meeting room. So Bill gives his pardon speech about, if you're injured, you got to come. If you're a rookie, you got to come back. And all this other stuff. So I'm sitting there. He's talking to him in speech. I said, "Hey, Bill, I'm a rookie, but I'm a starter. I'm not hurt." He goes,
"Yeah.
You better come back in shape." Well, don't worry about me, do you? So anyway, we come back and we're in preseason. And I don't know if you remember this. Remember that time me and Belichick got into it?
When? I mean, there's a number of times.
Well, this one particular time. Okay, so we come back for the preseason. I'll make it a short story.
Okay.
So come back, and I'm a starter. We're playing Pittsburgh. I'm covering Weegie Thompson, and Weegie Thompson, 6'4" receiver. 2 minutes in the game, I'm already out. My shoulder pads are off. I'm a starter. That's what we did back in those days. So a rookie a backup gets hurt. So Belichick looks at me and goes, Collins, get your fucking ass back in the game. I went, whoa. I put those pads on. I didn't even buckle up. I walked in, chin strap on. Game's over. We walk into the locker room.
Yeah.
Perry Williams saw it. Pete up goes, MC, don't do it. Don't do it. I said, brother.
Yeah.
So we walk into the locker room. Our locker is that way. The coaches is that way.
Yeah.
So if I walk in, I walk right to the coaches' locker room, and got in Bill's face. I said, if you ever cursing me again, I will kick your motherfucking ass. I said, my father would never curse at me. And I said, I'd be dipped in dog shit if I let you curse at me. And Parcells was just still like, holy shit. I turned around and walked out and went to my locker. Belichick follows me out and started coming to my locker. He goes, hey, I'm sorry. So apologizing. But everybody started looking at him. He goes, let's walk over here and do talk.
Yeah. Let's talk over here.
I was like, dude, don't curse at me like that. But we ever since then we had a good relationship. I respected Bill, but I had to let him know, don't do that.
I remember. I remember it was the preseason game. I do remember. Hey,
Parcells thought, he goes, I ain't gonna fuck with him. That dude.
Exactly.
Cursing me.
y'all sitting up here and you say, okay, you got Big Pep and then you got MC. Well, they probably didn't mess with Pep more than it was that dude right there. I would sit up there and I would entertain him for a little bit before I put him in a chokehold.
I wouldn't.
Mark didn't dance. Mark didn't dance at all. Mark said, hey, forget this mess. I'm here for one reason.
Yep, I go straight for the jugular. And that's
exactly.
On the defensive side, your three most important positions is your right outside linebacker, somebody who can put rush on the quarterback, because 98% of quarterbacks in the NFL are right-handed, so that's the pressure. There are two left-handed quarterbacks, one's a backup in Seattle, but I digress. That left outside linebacker, that rush guy, a Lawrence Taylor type or end, that's your number one position you better have on your roster. Now, since the NFL is not a running game anymore, your number two guy is better be a left corner, because most quarterbacks are right-handed. They're going to throw to the left side. Some people may say maybe the nose tackle. It's either or. But your number one's going to be the left side, right side pass rush on the quarterback's left blind side. I say number two corner, and then nose tackle, or you can switch it. What I'm going with this is, on the offense, the number three guy is that receiver on the right side, right inside of the quarterback. So he matches up with your left corner. That's your guy. In NFC East, we have Michael Irvin was a right wide receiver. Chris Carter, receiver on the right. Art Monk, receiver on the right. Jerry Rice, receiver on the right. So the battles I had with those guys were awesome. I mean, they won some, I won some, but it was always a good battle. So as far as a pair, I don't know, but those guys were Art Monk was, and even Sterling Sharp. Those guys are physical, they're strong. Yeah, they're physical, strong, bigger than me, taller rather. I'm 5'10", 5'11". You take a pick, but I weigh 200 pounds. I was strong. If I get my hands on you, I'm gonna choke you. And I always appreciate the battles with the guys in the NFC East. Once I got out of the NFC East,
I hate to interrupt you, but I have to interrupt you. because I've been wanting to get this story started. And then you said putting your hands on them, and it's you just gave me my alley oop. You just gave me my open frame. Tell the story about Steve Largent when you went to jail, Steve. When you went to jail, Steve Largent. I'm telling you, the chances of you seeing the play, especially how we got it, it's a whole different beast because even if they had the game on, even if they had the game taped, I don't know if you would have Mark isolated, him and Steve isolated like how we did in the film room, because Mark looked like, where the hell did he go?
Okay, here's the story. So we're playing Seattle in Giant Stadium, and I'm and of course Steve Largent. Come on, enough said.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of quick jamming them. I'm playing soft coverage. I'm mixing it up pretty well. And there's one particular time I was going for the jugular. I just
choking.
And I said, and he must have smelt something, some pheromones or something. I don't know. But I went at him and he disappeared. And it was an oh shit moment. Oh shit! He blew and he caught the ball.
He caught it on the
play. He caught it.
Oh goodness! I'm gonna tell you, I'm so messed up. People ask me this. I always tell them I don't know. I don't even know if they threw the ball that's larger or not. It just looked like
he caught a curl.
I remember Mark. I remember you like, oh man, I better chase this dude. That's all I remember. Oh goodness!
And then we ain't said nothing during the game. So we go to. I think we're talking at a bar or something. Something happened. I said, man, I told you, I tried to, and he disappeared on me. Yeah. He like just cloaked and went somewhere else. And then we watched it on film in the meeting, the following meeting.
Exactly. And it looked like it really looked like that's what happened. Like Mark went to jam him, and he ducked. It went up on. It got so freaking low.
I said, "Whoa!"
And Mark was like, "What the hell?" And then it was like, "Oh, I gotta chase this guy." and then he went and chased it behind him. And I would tell you, the rest have been a blur in my life. I'm glad you shared with me that he caught that pass, that play, because I couldn't even remember because I was so entertained with you hesitating. Like,
man,
what the hell just happened here? And then took off running. And we cried in the meeting room.
It looked bad on film.
It was like, oh snap! It was Steve Largent. It was Steve Largent. That was wonderful.
But I think once if I get my hands on you, I think I had it. It was fun. Here's a better story.
You put him on the Gatorade table.
We played in '92. We played Washington.
Yeah.
And the kid from Desmond Howard.
Yes.
Desmond Howard. So Desmond, first round pick of the Redskins. Desmond, good dude. Met him once. Seemed like he catches a 10-yard out. I'm playing from off. I could hit him out of bounds. He started talking shit. Collins, you ain't shit. Collins, I went, what? Why he do that, Pep?
Hey,
now I got to tax him. I got to tax him. So our new coaching staff was what's the name of them? 892 was Ray Hanley and those guys.
Yeah.
And our coordinator, I think Al Grove was the coordinator.
Yeah.
I think so. So I was calling coverages. I was going, no. I got him man.
Yeah.
But I played in the confines of the defense.
Yeah. No, that was
2. Huh?
Al was 91. That's Rod and them 92.
Whoever it was.
That's my. You're talking about my man Jeff over here. That's his That's his team over there. You see a little Redskins
Well, listen,
jersey.
I was just gonna say this probably ends with yada yada yada. He got traded to the
Jeff. What I did was made that man a lot of money.
Yeah.
And got him a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Because I jammed him so much. And this is a copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
When people found out he could get off the jam,
exactly.
Everybody jammed him.
Yeah.
Then he changed positions as a punt returner and a kick returner, and made a lot of more money and became an MVP of the Super Bowl.
I said, yeah. Listen, we talked about Desmond the other day. Ken and Pepper and I, and we were basically we already had a punt and kickoff returner, and you definitely turned him into a punt and kickoff returner for another team.
I just started it. The rest of the league finished it. But
yes.
I never had so much anger and focus during a game like that until that man called me out like that. I said, dude, this ain't the Big Ten. I was Lester hazing him.
Yeah.
I ain't care what the coverage was. I know you're not getting the ball.
and Dez today would be a freaking superstar because are they letting guys run off the ball and everything?
Yeah. When you can't touch him. That was his rookie year, right? That he was talking junk to you like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, Anthony getting it started back over. You're going to make Mark go to college day. He going to
Hey, Mark, you were such a physical defensive back. Jam people off the line. What do you think about today's rules with the way these guys have to play? Would you have liked to have played in this era that's going on right now?
Oh, I could play. I could play in any era. That don't bother me.
I don't mean could you have played? Would you have preferred to play in a more physical era, or?
I honestly I don't care. God put me on the earth. Well, the time was the time. I don't care. If I were to be born in the 1995, 96, 97, sure, it'd be great. But then too, if I was playing in the 40s and 50s when they were, or the 30s, let black people play back in those days, I'll play that too. But the point is, we can all adapt to anything that we choose to adapt to. They're just rules, and rules can be tinkered and tampered with all the time. So, I do think the game is safer though, to a point. As far as the physicality of it, it's safer that way. But I do notice a lot of players are getting hurt because I don't think their bodies are conditioned enough for the everyday grind of football. And then too, it's going to sound like a little oxymoron to a point, but these guys work out all year round, and I think your body needs a rest.
Yep.
You got the OTAs, you got the voluntary, involuntary camps, workouts. It's crazy. In my 13 years, I've never done one off-season training program.
And
because if we're not working, if we're not in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, I'm shutting it down from January until March.
Yeah, exactly. And Mark, it's funny that you say that. The only year I did the off-season workout program, Parcells brought me over there to the freaking Jets, and that's what he wanted me to do in the off-season. I got hurt the next season, and he hate when I bring that up. And I was like, dude, this is what we did. And it didn't have anything to do with all that basketball you played. I'm like, no, man, hey, dude, the first year I touched my toes, I got hurt in the freaking during the season. I never missed a practice. I never missed a game because of an injury. And now you get me in the off-season workout program, and I touch my toes and start jumping on boxes and carrying on. And now I get hurt during the season, popping muscles and carrying on. I don't get it. But now one thing, what I would say, as far as this, I'm quite sure you're gonna understand this, and all you guys that's out there listening to me, maybe you might understand. But if you grew up in our day and era, hopefully you will understand. The game that they're playing today is like the pickup games that we did every day. So, Ken, the reason why Mark has that answer and I would have that, it's funny, he has the same answer. It's not like we scripted this or whatever. And people ask Ronnie Lott, and he said, hey man, don't insult me. I can play in any freaking era. I can adjust. Sounded just like Mark. We played street football. In street football, you didn't have a helmet on. Now, the difference between us was that taught us how to tackle. It didn't necessarily say you reach out your arms and you're reaching at these guys all the time and they lunging at guys, or just totally throwing their bodies at folks' legs and carrying on. That's the freaking problem. No one is like what Marcus said, but Mark took it all the way to the NFL. But in Little League, or before you even play Little League, we playing football on the streets, and you learn how to tackle. And sometimes our friends, it didn't matter if we grew up a little poor. You didn't have to have a football. We rolled some socks up,
Yep.
got on our grass, and you ran the ball, and if you didn't tackle the dude, he was getting ready to stand over you and talk mess. Now, it's the same guys in the neighborhood. So it's not like you're going to get up and fight. You better get up and tackle, because if you fight them, you're going to be back playing with the same guy tomorrow anyway, or later on in that day. So we learned how to tackle. And I've always learned, and this kind of comes from Parcells, but it comes from a lot of my coaches. If you are allowing it, then you're teaching it. So every time I see one of those guys duck their head to try to make a tackle, and the coaches are not saying anything about it, I don't see the camera talking when the guys go to the sideline. I don't see the camera showing these guys talking to them on the sideline. They are allowing that. They are allowing that mess, and if you allow that guy to duck his head, I have, like Mark was saying, I've coaching. I have pulled my players off the field, and said, "Oh no, you're not doing that on my watch." What you talking about, Coach? I said, "Man, I saw you duck your head and exposing all this mess like this. No, you're not doing that on my watch." What? No. I don't. What part didn't you understand when I told you in the meeting room when we get out here in practice or in the games that if you duck your freaking head to make a tackle, I'm pulling you off the field. You make a penalty in the game, I'm pulling you off the field. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now listen, I know we weren't going to watch a lot of the clips, but Ken has 2 clips from this weekend's games where there were basically penalties for guys dropping their head and hit it. We can show those and see your reaction to those if you want. We don't have to go in deep. He can just pull those 2 up.
Get it, yeah. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm pulling them off the field.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to. I definitely pulled some clips. So here's the Commanders and Giants.
Oh, I got to watch this again. I don't want to watch this again.
Now, some of the play here, the defensive play here is so bad. I mean, look at this. I mean, his ankle's broke.
Yeah,
but you know what? But that's what they wanted. I'm telling you, this is what everybody wanted. You got a bunch of cheetahs out here on the football field, and you put them in shorts, you put them in. They got on shells and not shoulder pads, and everybody is thinking running, but he's out of control. Like Mark was saying, communication out on the field. If Mark would have been that left corner, he would be screaming, "I'm outside! I'm outside!"
Yep. Right.
And so now, if I was the guy that's on the 20, I would not continue to run so fast.
Yeah.
I'm going at him, and I know I'm going inside because Mark is letting me know he's outside.
Yep.
But this guy runs by him, and he's taking care of his job. The communication goes on the field, and like when Mark was, y'all brought it up that we came in together. Anthony brought it up that we came in together. it was such a big difference when we had to practice as rookies together, the rookie camp, to when the veterans came in, and we were always in. This was Giant Stadium, and the veterans came in, and Harry and them was barking out all the calls, and that was big to me. Mark today, I'm coaching in New England. Well, not today, but it was.
Remember
I'm
that?
coaching
Remember
in
that,
New England. He's doing the game out in Kansas City, and he said he was screaming my name. I don't pay attention. I'm never looking up in the stands. All of a sudden, I hear in. And automatically, I know who that is. I know that voice. I know whatever. And I turn around and I see my dog. I see my partner in crime. And then we go and dap up. He said, I know you can focus, blah, 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 blah. He let me go. You know why? Because Mark used to, you see a bunch of interceptions. You see my interceptions and coming across the middle. When Mark had a guy running an in cut, he would scream in. And that means Pepper, go grab the ball.
Yeah, that was funny. I was doing the game in Kansas City for our CBS affiliate, and I tried to talk to you. And I know you're focused. You're busy. Pep. Hear nothing. I know if I screamed in, you would hear it. In.
Exactly.
You turn around.
In. Look at this mess. Why are these guys running out of bounds? And when they get out of bounds, it's like they didn't score the touchdown.
Well, Pep, don't forget, the league wants they want Madden type points now. And I'll tell you this. Let me back a little bit.
Never going to get them.
I'm going to say something real quick. The league scoring average is a little low, and I think, in my opinion, I don't know if you concur with this, Pep. Defenses eventually catches up with offenses.
Yeah.
Good pitching always catches up to good hitting in baseball. It just does. Don't be surprised as the season progresses. A lot more penalties will be called on defense because I think the league wants more scoring. They don't want to see 13 games.
Yeah.
Score 13 games, 19-7. They don't like those games. They want the Madden type of points. But anyway, go ahead, Pep. I'm sorry.
But see that's where you have the people. If that's the goal, they're going about it the wrong way. Because if you continue to give the offense penalties and put them in the area where, like right now, 3rd and goal in the red area, they can't run all their routes now. And you look at these guys, there's no more combination routes. All those are individual routes that should be covered. That guy, this is a simple freaking route. Back it up again, kid.
I gotta
right there. Why he don't go get the ball and my man is running at him, but nobody don't touch him. It's ridiculous. He started off on the hash. He ran straight down the hash. Then they throw the ball up in between them, and you got 3 guys standing around him. And this is
right. Hold on 1 second. I just want to say something before we go off to that play. All right, what would you do in this situation if you're a coach? Because the play before that play was a 3rd down and goal, and the Giants did not get in the end zone. They were stopped at the 3-yard line, making it 4th down, but there was a penalty. So Washington took the penalty to push them back 10 yards and give them another chance to score a touchdown. 4th and goal from the 3. Do you take the penalty and go for 3rd down again, or do you just say nope? We decline the penalty. Just try to kick the field goal. What do you do in that situation?
Conventional wisdom. When you're inside the 20, if they back you up, the more room you have, and they push you back, that benefits the offense. That gives them more room to work with.
That's my whole point. And when Mark was saying about the penalties on the defense, you keep giving them penalties on the defense. It's just limiting the room where these guys can work. And now they need individuals. And if you don't have that individual that can get open, you're going to kick field goals.
Yeah, well, that's like I said. That was my problem. This was not even this play. It was the fact that it was 4th down and goal from the 3, and they decided they were going to make it 3rd down and goal.
And they went back to a 3rd down play.
Yeah, I would have declined the penalty.
Yes. Yeah, and give him the 3. All right, I just want to make sure I get something. I was like, all right.
Just say that running, yeah. Once again, that was, I think that was a little personal right there, Mark, because he's a Washington fan.
Well, now watch. Now here's some of these plays that are coming up. You're going to see some of these hits that these guys are taking. Now that was the interception. That was just a loft up play, but
I had to throw in some Washington highlights.
And there you go. And so that was that horrible interception. But then the next play,
it's 2nd and 2, and he had a dump off right there.
But then the next play is the one where we see the penalty. Oh wait, I'm sorry. No, we're going to see this first. Ken just put this in to rub it in for me, I think.
Yeah. Get that man the ball.
Look at that.
I heard he fumbled.
Not on this one.
Yeah, no, I mean I heard
he's holding the ball. And then he switched it to the wrong hand.
Right. But this is the play. The next play that's coming up is the play where
he got the ball in his left hand. He puts it in his right hand. What the hell?
Let's see. This is the one where he gets they get the penalty on that one. That's the one where, let's see. Do you have that second angle on that one too?
I don't think I do. No.
Okay, let me see.
Oh.
See, and this is kind of like my point. If you ever played street football, you would not hit that guy like that. You would not hit that guy. You're keeping your head away from his head.
Okay, I didn't see that he ducked his head. Am I missing something here or what?
Yeah.
I wish we had the other angle on this.
I'll check on the. See,
his head went over his head.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see it. That's what I'm saying. I don't see the blatant run through hit.
I think I want to. It looked like they his face mask actually hit. Is that McLaren?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like it actually hit his helmet.
I think the way his head snapped back is the reason why they threw the flag.
To me, that's bullshit, but that's me. Now, if you have the clip,
you're watching real time right here. Watch his head snap. See that?
Yeah. But that's just a commonplace hit in your day.
It's not a blatant target shot. Now, the guy, if you watch the Denver game, show that one. Then you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference what McKinney did there compared to Jackson hit. Jackson's he went there with some anger behind him on that shot.
Yeah, it's still I would what I told my guys in those situations is swing at the ball. If you swing at the ball, you jump up, you swing at the ball. Now we're not having this conversation.
This right here, you watch this hit right here.
Tell me why.
He ducked his head.
That's football. He's playing football. He got suspended for 4 games for playing football?
No, he led with his head. Go back to that angle and watch him launch.
Yeah, he launched himself, and and they have the whole defenseless wide receiver because you can't see him coming.
If that was my kid, I'm gonna wait for that guy by the bus. Watch this. Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not playing football.
No.
If that was hockey, that'd be 2 minutes for charging. That'd probably be 5 minutes for charging.
Yeah, that helmet right there. That's a big difference.
It looks like he led with his shoulder, and the guy just fell into his head.
Right? Yeah.
Well, listen, here's the thing: is the guy who's making the hit 22. He's the one who has control over where he hits him. The number 88 didn't even know where he is. He's just turning around. he could have gone for the tackle. He literally launched his body, and even though it looks like he was trying to get his shoulder, you make the tackle. You don't need to make yourself into a missile. You don't need to do that.
That's my first time seeing that play.
Yeah, that was well. Yeah, that's now compared to McKinney's. McKinney should be no hit. That's nothing.
Yeah. Well, also remember this is his second time he's been flagged for this, so it's a multiple offense.
One of his second, third time. We had guys in the league when we played, Pep. Chuck Cecil, Andre Waters, guys like that. They were like missiles, like launchers, and that's what they did. Get a penalty, and then
that's one of the things I wanted to ask you is how they've legislated actual hitting. You talk about tackling. That's one thing. I played safety, and I fell in love with football for the sake of hitting. I loved hitting. Now, when I see those plays, I think that's a hit. I love seeing hits when we used to see hits in football. Now we can't even see a hit. Now that guy's losing $500,000 in game checks.
Well, Anthony, remember back in the day when we were younger, the NFL made money off big hits. Remember that videos, the NFL's biggest hits. Now, it's a little different now because the money these players make now has something to do with it. And I'm not going to lie about that. It does.
And they don't want to be paying them later, like after their careers. Like a lot of guys that we on. I'm sorry, Mark. You go.
No. I'm just saying. It's just the game, the hits now. The guys are bigger than we were, Pep. So the hits and the physicality of the game could be more devastating. I would venture to say somebody could get killed on the field if they played the rules like we played back in the day.
Yeah, but Mark, I mean, I'm not going to agree that they're bigger than us. It's just a freaking offensive lineman, dude. Because there's no linebacker crew like how our linebacker crew was.
They're smaller, but because now the league wants those smaller, fast linebackers.
Yeah,
corners,
exactly.
The corners are like 6'3", 6'4", not for me, but
yeah, in the corner. Anyway, what they are doing, they're actually have these guys telling them, they're playing football and without pads on. That our pads were protecting us. These guys don't have on pads to protect them. And now you get this running collision, and there's nothing to protect you. And the leading with your head, that would always have been a no-no to me. But they're not tackling with shoulder pads. They're not tackling with their shoulder pads because they don't have on shoulder pads. They're not tackling with their shoulders rather because they don't have on shoulder pads. And Anthony, I guess I'm going to try to address what you were saying. I had my guys when we was because we, with Belichick, I did a study in the off season on the penalties and came up with this, and worked for a couple of years until I left out of that. But if that guy would have grabbed and tackled him, made it look like a tackle, he wouldn't have gotten the flag.
Sure.
When he hit and he stands up over him, or it's just a blow, it's just a hit, like what Anthony was saying, then that's you. These people didn't play. The majority of these referees never played football. So they're not understanding the game the same way you are to play, Mark, whoever else that played football. So they look at you as just hitting the guy, and you're not trying to tackle the guy. That's just like the other play when I was talking about if the guy would have just swung at him, like swiped at the ball and ran into him, he's gonna. They're not throwing a flag. It was I'm not going to say it was 100%, but it was a high 80% of the time that anytime a safety or a linebacker hit a defenseless receiver and they wrapped up, got no penalties.
No, I get that. But we can go about this all night. And I get where you're coming from, and I concur. And this is where, as I guess a football aficionado, this is what bothers me about the league and the penalties. I'm gonna use to me it's common sense. Can somebody on this dais in this format tell me what is a 300-pound pass rusher supposed to do when he goes and hits the quarterback and barely touches him and then falls on him just like a regular tackle? How is that roughing the passer? What is this big man supposed to do? He's rushing the passer. He goes up. The guy throws the ball. He's supposed to turn sideways, or how is he supposed to avoid falling on the guy that he's trying to sack?
Well, I mean, I'll go one step further and say you're chasing a quarterback who's running, and then he goes like he's going to step out of bounds, and you're forced to lay up because you can't hit him because he's about to go out of bounds. But then he doesn't go out of bounds. He goes up a little bit further. So what are you supposed to do in that situation? Because if you hit him, then you hit him when he was planning on going out of bounds. You don't hit him, he gets 5 more yards. And why didn't you hit him? It's a completely no-win scenario because of how they protect the quarterback.
But roughing the passer.
Yeah.
What's the definition? I've seen games yesterday. Quarterback throws the ball, he just touches him. Roughing the passer. What the hell is that? You see roughing the passer? Pepper. Let's talk about roughing the passer back in the day.
Hey, Mark, I'm gonna tell you this. I saw a play yesterday that I totally agree with what you're saying. Because for so many times I've seen it. This was only one time yesterday that I actually seen the guy hit and he just fell on it. But the majority of the time when they call the roughing the passer is when it seems like the guy is dropping him and he drops his head. Soon as if the defensive lineman hits him and he falls on him and he keeps his head up, it was another one that they were not throwing the flag then. I saw one play yesterday. I saw it one time. This through this whole season that I've seen where they call roughing the passer on that one. I've seen even I think it was not yesterday, it was Sunday, but I seen the guy run in and he put his hands on the quarterback like this. And in the referee's mind, and this is, my year of working in the league's office, what they telling the referee, if he could stop to push him, then he know he doesn't have. I didn't make the rules. Don't stop me now. But if he can stop just to push him, then that means he know he did not have the ball roughing the pass.
That's some dumb ass shit.
Hey man, again,
I know.
This is what happened when we allow people that didn't play football make the rules. If they would have took the best thing that the league could possibly do is go out and grab a Mark Collins, grab a Ronnie Lott, grab a Keenan Turner, grab some of these guys that's around in the league, or still affiliated, and have y'all sit around and make up some of the rules, what people can do and what they can't do, and then don't let the referees just start the season with the rules. Give them a season of being able to, referee in this way, and then show them what, this is what you should have did, or this should have been a call, and that maybe that wasn't a call, blah, 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 blah. Give them a whole season of that, and not just a preseason, and then bring the rules in. Because when they change rules in February and March, and then tell these guys to go do it and officiate during the season, it's never going to work. It's never going to work because the game is still too fast for them.